team, you also need to be in this picture. If you're in the building, if you're in the audience, please report. 87 and 88. 87 and 88 football team, we're asking that you come in and get in on this picture. We're going to ask that you please be seated. Greenwood, Mississippi. Let's give our class another great big Greenwood, Mississippi round of applause. Well, we're about to get started with the most vital part of this ceremony. And that's the induction of this class per person. And what we're going to do, we're going to call them up, give a small bio on some that had a bio, and things that I can remember about most of them, and will suffice. But what we're going to ask our inductees to do, come up here and plead your heart out for 1 minute. Plead your heart out for 1 minute, as we have 28 things to go by. We want to make sure everybody gets out of here also in a sufficient time. We're all in eat. You know, when we eat, we get sleepy. And when we get sleepy, when is this going to end? Now you know that's just too long for that program. So we got to do it as fast and sufficient as we can, not only for the purpose of us getting out of here, but for the purpose of you getting back to your Saturday evening. So we'll get started with our first inductee. Now, this gentleman, ain't a whole lot of bio you could do on him. You can only remember that he was a love, not had a love, but he was a love for baseball. He coached the Greenwood Sluggers back in the day. When I say back in the day, we talking 70s, 80s, somewhere up in there. Well, when I was a teenager, and I ain't gonna tell you how old I am. But he was so in tune with trying to help young people know the game till he has a park actually named after him in Greenwood, Mississippi. This inductee is the late Willie Lee Jackson. And here to accept his award is his daughter and son, Troy Jackson and Darlene Smith Young. We're going to leave that off, Uncle. Jackson Young. I said Smith, didn't I? Oh, I'm thinking about Wallace now. I got it. Test.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I'd like to give honor to God for just being here, allowing us to celebrate this. It's a great pleasure to, after 20 plus years that my father has transitioned. And I'd just like to thank the Hall of Fame for acknowledging him. And I must say, he was an avid fan of all sports. And at home, when Greenwood High and Millie Elsie played, you just had to leave out the room because he talked so much noise. And that's what he was known for. But I would just like to say thank you all. And on behalf of my mom, who's not here tonight, and my other two brothers, we'd just like to say thank you all for giving him this award. Thank you. Have a blessed night.
All right. Go Bulldogs. All right. Our next inductee. This young man played football at Amanda Elder High School from 1980 to 84. Began his football career under Coach Henry Fant and finished, well, I want to say that's vice versa, and finished under Coach Ernest T. Williams. He had to start under Ernest T. and finish under Coach Fant. Of course, he started 3 years playing both ways as a running back and a safety. On offense, he rushed for 1,354 yards during his senior year, also being the football team captain, MVP of his senior year, and of course, he was selected all-district first team in 1984. This young man was a brutal beast. His name is Bill Lewis. Give him a round of applause.
gave me the ability to play football, a great sport. My family, my wife, Lynette. My mother, 94 years old, still supporting me, Mamie Lewis. And my sisters, Brenda, Nanda, and Willa. I want to thank my coaches, my teachers at Emmanuel's and Mississippi State University, all my teammates that fought the fight with me, and of course, Captain Nation was at all the games, cheering us along. And last but not least, future champion sports Hall of Fame for selecting me for this great award. Thank you.
Mr. Bill Lewis. All right. This next young man, a LaFleur County High School graduate of 1973, first team All Delta Valley Conference at offensive tackle, honorable mention Delta Valley Conference at defensive tackle, member of the Mississippi Division A basketball championship. Bunny, y'all remember when there was AA and AAA and before we got into all the 5 and 6A. Attended Mississippi Valley, retired as an employee at Mississippi Valley. This gentleman is named Joel Jones. All right, well, we're going to move on. This next gentleman, now, don't need a bio to read for him. You can only remember a 3-sport athlete. You can remember being on one of Coach Lemon's best basketball teams. You can remember this gentleman tearing down a backboard in high school. Well, several have done that since. But this gentleman, for us to see it at that time, in his time and era, was simply fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you Gabe Wallace. Now, this next inductee, hold on, Gabe. Let me finish this. Go right ahead. He ain't big like he was. Can't count down no backboard now. Think I can take it. Go ahead. Go right ahead.
First off, I would like to thank the Creator for allowing me and gifting me with the gifts and talent that I have. My beautiful family that's always been there to support me. Every friend, every coach that helped to push me, every teammate, and you name it, the community. If you ever cheered for me, this committee that put this together, thank God for you all. God bless you all and continue pushing forward. We need this in this community.
Yes, sir. Gabe Wallace. Now, Gabe, before I was so rudely interrupted. Now, this next inductee, nobody could have enjoyed being a point guard, especially in the women's league back in that time, than this young lady. She played with the likes of Mary Stewart, Jo Helen Pitts, Martha Stewart, all the friends and et cetera, back in the days of Lucy Harris and far and beyond. Loved the game of basketball. Averaged 12 points a game. Was simply, I'll tell you what, I'll put down the paper and tell you, was simply phenomenal as a woman's basketball player. This lady goes by the name of Martha Pitts.
I just want to say thank you to the committee for acknowledging what I did in my life. And I love it. I love playing with my teammates,
Yeah.
my sister, my cousin, whatever. I love playing with all of them. And I just want to thank you.
Yes, ma'am. See, I've been knowing that lady a long time, and I can guarantee you I wasn't going to interrupt her at all. All right, our next inductee. Matter of fact, my respect is going to be so big, I'm going to wait till she sit all the way down before I talk about the next inductee. Anyway, one of the greats. Let's give her another round of applause, Martha Pitts. Okay, in 1968, graduate of LaFleur County High School, 3-year letterman at quarterback, safety, outside linebacker. Voted team's MVP his junior season in 66, senior season also in 67. All conference football player the same 2 years. Led the conference in scoring in a single season with 150.25 touchdowns. Led the state in total touchdown responsible for in a single season with 49 TDs, 25 rushing TDs, 24 passing. MVP of the Grenada Lake Bowl. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Before Stewart now, Mr. Jimmy Patrick.
Thanks for all the things. Been happy since I was elected husband of the year. I'm trying to get that record back. But anyway, thank you for this. Family and friends, teammates.
All right. Now, I want y'all to know. Y'all notice something? He didn't forget the wife, bro.
Still got the same one.
Yeah, he didn't forget it. Bro, Patrick, I'm gonna let you know something. I'm scared my wife ain't even here. Our next inductee. I got to do this, I'm gonna kind of do this in a special way because this guy here turned out to be somewhat of a good friend. In 1987, he was North 5A champion. 1988, North 5A champion. Assistant coach in the Bernard Blackwell All-Star football game. 1991, assistant coach in the Mississippi-Alabama All-Star football game. 1995, head coach in the Bernard Blackwell football game. In 1998 through 2005, member of the Rules Committee for the Mississippi-Alabama All-Star football game. In 2000, Metro Coach of the Year. 2000, North 6A champion. 2001, inducted into the Delta State University Sports Hall of Fame. In 2002, Vice President of the Mississippi Athletic Administrators Association. 2004, elected to the State Testing Coordinator for Athletic Administrators. And of course, I'm going to skip a few things, go to 2003, inducted into the Mississippi Athletic Administrators Association Hall of Fame, and now inducted into the Greenwood, LaFleur County High School Hall of Fame. That is Coach David Bradbury.
thank you to the committee for this honor. It's a special place here in Greenwood. You know, all those years, there's some coaches here tonight, Kelly, Heath, Mike Martin, I see two of you, and players here. I'm up here tonight because of the accomplishments of them. All these coaches that I had a chance to get around, Melvin Smith, James Woodard, Alfred Hall, all those guys that worked with us, the players, anytime you got on the bus, they were ready to go. And you just, you know, I told somebody a while ago, they played them from the Tennessee line to the Golden Gulf. Didn't call any of them. Special group. But in all those ball games, my two little girls ended up having to go to a bunch of ball games, and them and their family are here tonight. Kim and Holly and their family are here. They started their school years here in Greenwood. And my wife, Rose, has been to more football games than she wants to admit, I'm sure. But this is a special award to us. Greenwood is a special place. And thank you for this.
All right. Coach David Bradbury. All right. Several people, like I said, might not get a chance to do a bio on this next gentleman. It could get a little personal for me. This gentleman was selected all NCAC in 1977-78. Didn't have very much of an award system then, but he led us in tackle that season, and he don't know it to this day that he did. So, we didn't do the stat thing like that. Didn't have stat. We had statisticians, but it went as far as the game. Archives wasn't about all of that, but he went on to Tennessee State and showed the lights of being behind John Dickens. He and Irvin Neal, who's also both of those guys in the Hall of Fame here. And all three of them made an imprint in the system, in the college system, but coming out of some real worthy high school. I mean, superior ball player. Left Tennessee State, had an opportunity with the Seattle Seahawks. But I can say this, I don't need to go any further. This gentleman, very, very close friend of mine. I mean, we're close enough that if you wanted to say, y'all just got him in the Hall of Fame because he played partner, Mr. Vinell Henderson.
Good evening. Hope everybody's well. I want to give thanks to God first for making this a possibility for myself, watching me in my journey as I went forward in life and also in football. I want to give thanks to the committee that selected myself and the other patrons that are here today. I want to say very thank you for everything you've done. Continue to support. Just remember, the kids are always our future, and they're always going to be first in our life. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Vinell Henderson. Don't say it, buddy. Class of 78. All right, our next inductee. Our next inductee also does not need to write a bio, because when his name is mentioned, you'll remember it. All of you Ole Miss fans, you're going to know this name. This gentleman was an explosion of a football player at Greenwood High School. And I mean, when I say explosion, you would have had to been there to see it or watch some film on him. And to put it into words by mentioning his name, and if you out there remember it, you're going to say, oh, okay, yeah, man. That's what you're going to say. Our next inductee is Mr. Arthur Scott.
Hello, I'm clearly not Arthur Scott. I'm his daughter, representing him in his absence. I just want to say thank you all so much for honoring my father. So y'all have a good night. Thank you.
And it's not taking anything from her, but that's kind of football play he was. Short and to the point. And I mean absolute to the point. Not taking anything from her. I mean, true enough, speech, but that's how he played. It was going to be then and automatic then. And that was it. Let's go back to Intervena, Mississippi. And reverse Miss Pitt's announcement as to who she loved to play with. One of those same ladies also loved to play with her. This lady was phenomenal also. Now, I got a chance to see these people doing Lucy's Day, some before and some after. And she was just that. She was that girl. She was that person. She was that basketball player of that era and time. Her name, Martha Stewart Moore. Put the spotlight on her.
Good evening. I want to thank the committee for choosing me to be inducted. I got inducted for something I love. All we want to do is play basketball. We even played in the dark. So it's just something we all love doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, our 12th inductee, Corey, this guy, if you saw film on him, in your mind you could say this guy don't put out nothing but fires. But if you saw high school film of 1978, you would wonder, you would ask him, hey man, did you go anywhere, try anywhere? What was the deal? An explosion of athletic talent. I mean a severe explosion of athletic talent. One of the best, and I wish I could say it, but we got little kids in here, one of the best point guards that I've ever seen come through here. Now, if you want to compare him to Alfonso, you can do that, but you got to say he was only better than Alfonso when he was dribbling that basketball. You can compare him to Glass, but he wasn't an inside player. Every time he had his hands on that basketball, you never know where it was going to go, where he was going to pass it. LeBron everybody thinks that he just invented that dribble drive and kick it out to the three-point line. This guy did that then, but we didn't even have a three-point mark then at that time. But he would kick it out to somebody that would be free. This is one of the best basketball players I've ever seen. He goes by the name of Curtis Elliott.
always want to do that when I have people. You know, I think that God is good. I want to thank the Florida County, all the fan committee. I want to thank my family and friends. I want to thank Willie Dixon, Glenn McCaskill for teaching me how to drive. But like my grandfather said, when you got a microphone in your hand and you see a group of people, don't get up there and make yourself look stupid. They're going to say what you got to say and sit down. So I'm going to get ready to sit down.
Curtis Elliott. Well, now, folks, this next athlete, he was such a tremendous athlete, so our CEO gave me his bio on the phone. So we're going to read it from the phone. This gentleman was a tight end in 1968. First baseman, top player, winning record in basketball. Basketball, he was a forward, team leading rebounder. Track, competed in state championship, Mississippi High School North. And of course, South All-Star football game in 68. Was on a team that had an 8-1 record, ranked number 2 in is that the Big 8? Well, in the Big 8, signed with Mississippi State. His name, Watson Pillar.
Charles, I appreciate it. Did you get that $200 I sent you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Do I have to share it with him? It's his phone.
You just do what you want to with it. But anyway, I do appreciate this very much in sports. I just love to play. I played them all and love to play them. And sports taught me a lot. Some I remember, some I don't want to remember. But anyway, I do appreciate y'all. I appreciate you, what you do. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. A 1996 graduate of Greenwood High School, selected as an all-state running back for the Bulldogs, and during his tenure at Greenwood High School, he had several scholarship offers out of high school and chose at first to go to Mississippi State. Then came back, attended Mississippi Delta Community College, where he earned All-American honors as a fullback. Had several opportunities after Mississippi Delta, but he elected to go back to Mississippi State. Played fullback while studying for his educational psychology degree and graduated with a master's in sports administration. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most brutal backs that I've seen in his time, because I'm older than him, Mr. Rod Gibson.
First, I would like to give praise to the men above for allowing each and every one of us to be here this evening. Thanks to my family and friends that's able to be here as well. I received a lot of awards throughout my journey thus far, but nothing is greater than receiving this type of award from my hometown in Greenwood, Mississippi. Thank you guys and committee for putting on such an amazing evening.
Don't hurt me, Goopy. Now, I didn't get this guy $200, but he on the phone, so Charles running moonlight on me. He was a 1994 basketball player, averaging 17.6 a game, 8.4 rebounds, made the All-Star team, Commonwealth Player of the Year in 1994, North 3A champion. His name, Mr. Warren Jones.
Just real quick, I just want to thank everybody for Sports Hall of Fame for this really unexpected honor. I want to thank my family that's here supporting me today. And I actually got a couple teammates that I played with here as well. And I want to thank them as well. But I appreciate this opportunity.
Now, I generally don't sweat this bad, but Charles made us put these red shirts on over a t-shirt. And I'm already 300 pounds. And the civics in the air only run moderately. Unreal. Look here, our next inductee. Now, watch this kid grow. Phenomenal basketball player. Officiated practice when he was in high school. Rode the team bus every now and then. I always say that anybody that would have replaced Alfonso Ford and Amanda Elder, it would have been this guy. Of course, nobody believed none of that until he was in his sophomore year at Mississippi Valley. He made a believer out of Lafayette Strickland. This guy could absolutely light it up. He could absolutely light it up. And I praise him for his love for young people right now. You call him what you want, but I'm gonna call him Sean Pearson.
Appreciate that. How y'all doing? I want to thank the committee. My family is on me about the minute. There's some people that left a few seconds on the table. So I'm going to take that. I want to thank the committee for doing this. This scene itself is phenomenal to me. The diversity in the group. I don't want to take this time for me. I want to take this time for you all coming together, give yourselves a hand for coming in here and doing it. I want to thank Coach Howard Green Brown, Coach Lafayette Strickland, and most of all, my grandmother, my family right here, Miss Bobby Carter. She took me in, believe it or not, when I was 14, I couldn't make a layup. Curtis Elliott, Kite Johnson, the late Michael Boyd, Tommy Bolden. I'm a product of all that. I took something from everybody's game and I used it and I was successful with it. The young man was checking me out while we was right here in the stand. He thought I was Snoop Dogg. But I want to tell you, I'm not Snoop Dogg, but I love the youth of Greenwood because they turn into grown people. And I want you to watch how you treat young people because they turn into me. They may even be a Hall of Famer. So watch how you put your mouth on them, encourage them, and help us get our town back like we need it. and not just when it's time, not just when the camera's on. So what I want you all to do for me, I want you to get your hands ready. Everybody get your hands ready. Just like this, free your hands up. Because this is a unified situation. Let me tell you what unity sounds like. This is what unity looks like, but I'm going to show you what it sounds like. If you're not in tune, it's going to be chaotic. But if you're down with what we're talking about, it's going to be a beautiful sound. When I say one time, we're going to clap one time. Just be on time. All right? Ready? One time. Somebody was late. All right, I'm going to give you another chance. See, that's what you call chaos. So now it's time to get together. I still got a minute. Let's get together. Hands ready. Hands ready. We're going to hear one beautiful sound. One time. One time. When I say clap that up, you clap 3 times. Clap that up, pop, pop, pop. Clap that up, pop, pop, pop. Say, ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Clap that.
Mr. Sean Pearson. Well, this next inductee at the end of this, coach, tell me if you coached this guy. I don't know if he was there when I believe he was. But this next inductee was one of the absolute best linemen, both sides of football, that I had ever seen. There were several, there's been a bunch to come through. This gentleman wasn't explosive, wasn't real strong, but he was so technique sound. He added just enough strength, just enough quickness, just enough speed to destroy you. And he did that throughout his career. As a little boy watching him grow up, I could have sworn this kid ain't gonna be no football player. He's gonna be a chubby little old fat boy, like me. Of course, I turned out, but I also felt like wasn't nobody gonna turn out like me. But he turned out better. This gentleman's name is Terry Thomas. Accepting this award for her son, Hall of Famer, Red Maddox. Red, they told me to say Gloria, but I think you would prefer Red, wouldn't you?
First, giving honor to God, who's the head of my life. You know, it's truly an honor to be noticed in your own hometown. I'm accepting this award for my son. Terry, he's a little bit under the weather now, but he told me to make sure you tell my coaches, Brad Berry, Coach Heath, Coach Hall, he just started naming them, that I say thank you. Because it did give him almost 5 years at Alcorn when he left Greenwood High. So he was a good player there. Now I agree with you, he was quick to be such a big guy. He could he could move, and he was light on his feet. And I have always said that about him. Right now, he's still light on his feet because you can't even hear him coming through the house. And Terry now has 2 grandchildren. He has a granddaughter, Trinity, and a grandson, Treason, 3 and 1. I'm a great grandma, y'all. And I'm proud to say I am. And thank y'all for listening to me. And I am a graduate of Greenwood High as well. 1971, the first black Miss Greenwood High. 1971.
once again, Mr. Terry Thomas. Now, born and raised in Greenwood, Mississippi, this young lady was an outstanding athlete at Greenwood High School. Of course, at Greenwood High School, she participated in several sports: basketball, track, cheerleading, even jazz dancing. She also received many awards, of course, in cheerleading, dancing, and track. But now, I'll put the paper down and giving it a personal touch. Little kids, close your ears. The best damn women's basketball defensive player I have ever seen on the high school and on the collegiate level. Don't need to go no further. Tammy Gosa. Once again, give it up, Miss Tammy Gosa Holmes.
That's right. Cracker Jack. Bulldogs. That's all I know. Bulldogs. And the Bulldogs in the house. All right, all right. All right, Panthers, just be quiet now. We don't want to hear none of that noise. We don't want to hear that noise. But I want to thank God for this opportunity. It took me by surprise, but as Ms. Maddox said, Ms. Thomas, it's always an honor to be honored at your hometown. Because there's no place like home. And I don't care where you go, home know you better than any other place. And I want to take this time to acknowledge my husband. I told Charles, don't stand too close to me. Because Mr. Holmes is sitting out there in the audience. And I want to thank him for being such a supporter. My mother-in-law, Miss Margaret Fluker, my brother-in-law, Kevin Kirk. Everybody sitting at my table, my nieces and nephew and brother, everyone. You know, it's always an honor to have someone to support you. And that's the same way about the kids. You have to support these kids. You have to be a role model for them. You know, plenty of kids in here probably last night, I coached them. And it was an honor to see them be honored in the same capacity, but not on the same level. But hopefully in the near future, they'll be here as well as future Hall of Famers as well. But I want to thank the committee. I want to thank Mr. Blake. Like he said, he's called many games. And he seen me grow up from yay high. And I want to also give my accolades to Mr. John Banks from Davis Elementary, moving up to Greenwood High School, W.B. Davis, and Mr. and Mrs. Gilbert. Every game, they always dress their son out in the number 11. And they were my biggest supporters. No matter where I was, I look up in the bleachers, there he is. And right now he does stats for Mississippi State, Gavin Gilbert. But I just want to thank each and every last one of you, and thank you for the opportunity again.
All right. Yeah, Keith, tell me told off for you, boy. You brought that camera up here. You wasn't flash. I didn't see it flash now time. You wanted to make sure, didn't you? All right, our next inductee, moving right along. 2002 basketball, 21.4 points per game, 7.1 rebounds, 2 assists, 59 blocks, 40 steals, 83 three-pointers, 45% three-point shooter, 50% field goal shooter, 81 from the free throw, North 4A champ, 27-10 record while being with that team in a Mississippi State signee. He is Mr. Michael Bowler.
Thank y'all. This has been great. The assist stat was pretty little on that, but that was by design. Anyway, I'd like to thank, there's lots of people you can thank when you get something like this, but I do want to take a moment just to thank my dad. He chased me halfway across the United States and stayed with me until about midnight most nights when I was trying to work on making nothing but net shots and not hitting the rim. So one shout out to him, and thank y'all all for being here. This is a great night. Thank you, Charles.
All righty. Yes, indeed. To Michael Bowler. All right. Moving it along. 1991-92 most valuable player. 92-93 most offensive player. 93-94 most offensive player. 94-95 most valuable player. 1995 Commonwealth Player of the Year. All district team. All North State. Wendy's Athlete of the Week twice. Who's who in sports. 1994-95 basketball season. And it's got track and field and basketball, but I ain't gonna waste that kind of time because this girl ran like a deer. When I first saw her freshman year, all the way through Mississippi Valley, and I mean an absolute beast. Her name is Tracy Campbell.
Good evening. First, giving honor to God. I'd like to say thank you to my family, my 3 boys, my husband, Coach Ivory, and my friend from work, all the way from Arkansas, Aura. Also, my coach from Mississippi Valley, Coach Harris. Thank you. Thank you, Charles, and the committee.
I ain't trying to brag about nothing, but I understand her feeling. Her husband George wouldn't come to my induction ceremony in December in the SWAC Hall of Fame. But it was so nice, and they knew that I would get emotional because when they gave me the phone call, we'd like to congratulate you for being in the 2022 SWAC Hall of Fame. I burst into tears. What do you have to say about that? I mean, I cracked up. Commissioner changed the whole criteria of the thing. And I wish I had a screen to show it to you. They wouldn't even let me speak. They sent a production crew to my house. They did a 30-minute interview, broke it down to 3 minutes, said all kinds of little accolades about my 35 years in Mississippi Valley doing SWAC sports, and showed it on the screen while I sat there and just looked and couldn't move. He told me when I went up there to get my jacket and my ring, George, Commissioner looked at me. He says, what are you doing? I said, I'm finna. He eased me to the side and says, hey man, you better get your big so-and-so off the stage. He said it just like that. You know, we're real good friends. Big off stage, you ain't finna say nothing. Ain't no way in this world. But they had a tab on me. He's gonna get up there and he's gonna cry. We know he's gonna cry. You heard him. So I understand where she's coming from. You get accolades and you've done what you did and you got it rewarded for what you've done. Something that you love to do, it can get. Right there, emotion, ask Emmett Smith. I mean, hey, it's just like that. I done got emotional, I done got who's next. Let's see. Oh, I got it. I did that on purpose, really, to mess with this guy. How about 5'6", 5'7". In his time and era, best athlete you would ever see. I guess y'all say, well, everybody coming up there was the best athlete. But now, I discussed it in his era and time. Now, Tammy and everybody from Greenwood High School has bragged about Go Bulldog. I can say this guy was on the very first team at Amanda Ilsey that actually beat Greenwood High School in 1995. The best athlete, got a son that's, gosh, the split image of his athletic ability. This young man is named, and I would always say, all the jokers in Delta apartment back here and Twin Lake, you can take a water polo coach and go out there and get athletes, because they came a dime a dozen, I mean pure. His name is Corey McKinney.
I want to thank the committee. I want to thank my mom and dad, coaches, teammates that push me every day in practice. Last but not least, I'd like to congratulate all the other inductees, even the Bulldogs.
I want to give him another 2 minutes because I want to see Corey cry. One of the best individuals you ever meet, though. All right, we're going to move this right along. This next inductee, I had the opportunity to have it out with his mom. And you know them boys supposed to be there. What they doing over at the Floyd County? And when they got out of the Floyd County, you know them boys, they're supposed to sign with Mississippi Valley. What they doing up in Mississippi State? Well, hey, when you 6'6", 6'7", you 300, 270, 280, and you can play, tough Mississippi Valley. I'm sorry. You know, got an opportunity to see film on them before they played, and he and his brother's already Hall of Famer, and they are identical twins. This next inductee is Mr. Eric Thompson.
Good evening. First of all, I want to say thank God. Thank God for the committee. Thank God for everybody being here. The sports people, I mean, they are what they are. We're going to get off the book with it. When I first started playing sport, this guy back in the back, Lynn Wood. I came up in junior high, being a 6'7" guy, 300 pounds. They said, "Oh, you going to high school?" So that guy back there took it upon himself to build. And you know, he was already leaving, but he took me in. I can remember my first day practice. He taught me a valuable lesson. Coach said, "Line up with Lynn." I said, "Okay." He said, "Okay, just like that." I didn't buckle my chin strap, nothing. Threw the whistle, play was over, I was on the ground. From that day forward, Lynn Wood taught me, if you stay ready, you don't have to forget. I was raised in a big family. Carroll County made me, but the Floyd County raised me. My grandmother was 91, she watching on video. My grandfather, I always say let's take some videos. played my whole career sick, didn't know it. I got to Mississippi State with Coach Sherrill. I started seeing, little small things wrong. He sent me to doctors. After my career playing, he just told me, look, you don't have to worry about playing. I had 6 knee surgeries at the time. He said, just go to school. I didn't always do right, but I didn't always do wrong. My grandparents taught me, your name and your word is all you have. And I always tried to live by it. 2012, I started having seizures. Some days it'd be 30, 40 seizures a day. But through it all, the perseverance I learned, the hard work, the dedication from Lee Floyd County, the county period, not just Lee Floyd County High, because I have friends from Amanda Hills, Greenwood High, Pillars, everywhere. What I learned here, hard is with the home. Lee Floyd County, Greenwood, Mississippi has been keeping me going all my life. I fought through seizures, blood clots, sarcoidosis, fibromyalgia. Some days are good, some days are bad. All days I'm here. So when you leave here tonight, thank God for what you have. Thank God for what you don't have. God is good all the time. There's no leaders out like so. You're gonna do this. When I say 2 clap, you say 2. Give me 2 clap. 2 clap. Like Sean P said, that was a little chaotic. I was out. 2 clap. Go stay.
You can also go back and see this ceremony on Greenwood Live, streaming on Greenwood Live, that is.
Excuse me.
I just carried a little further.
It's G-Wood Live. You're gonna miss it. It's G-Wood Live. It's G-Wood Live. Yeah, Greenwood Live won't get it. It's G-Wood Live. Yes. Well, I want you to get it right.
Mr. Lee Hall, ladies and gentlemen, it's G-Wood Live. We've been good friends for long, many years. He got mad enough with me to tell me, you can't whoop me, Blake. Wanna bet? All right, our next inductee. Oh man, let's see, where can I start? All MCAC, all district. Gosh. Some of everything in high school. My best memories that I could bring up, since I don't have a complete bio, I can remember down at the Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium, Mississippi Valley is playing Alcorn State. It's 3rd and long. Sheldon Hodge is the defensive coordinator. Sheldon Hodge called for a safety blitz. And number 24 got out there on that island as that strong safety. Steve McNair is in the shotgun. Ball to snap. Steve went right. Steve turned. And when he turned back to throw, he probably wished that the Blind Side movie was made about him. Because this young man laid that hammer on him, and it took Steve every bit of walking about 20 feet from the sideline before he collapsed. Of course, now after they got him over there, worked on him real good, sent him back in, held him rushed for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, second half. But that lick made the situation become true, because when I would see Steve, I stopped him the first time that I talked to him. And I stopped him, and I told Coach Bradbury and them this story the other night, and I put my hand on his chest and said, son, this was his junior year, but now the senior year is when this gentleman I'm gonna bring up here, that's when he made this spectacular hit. I saw him coming off the field at Mississippi Valley and said, "Oh, son, let me say something to you." He said, "Man, I told him, son, if I was an athlete, a collegiate coach, I'd rather take a chance on the HIV virus than the coach against you." He said, "Man, you are phenomenal in this and that and the other." I saw him after the game that night, and he would always point at me. He said, "Hey, man, strong safety come off that island. You still want to take a chance on that HIV?" I told him, I said, "Man, I never seen nobody get hit that hard." He said, "Man, I'm still feeling that." This guy was one of the most ferocious strong safety, and you can let Coach Hodge tell you, in probably Valley history, according to Coach Hodge, and mostly what I've seen. Right now, I'm going to kind of pick a fight between him and David Bradbury and say he is now the winningest coach at Greenwood High. What Coach Bradbury leaned in his glasses, fogged up there. Now, I'm just kidding. We're not going to get into that. But I will say that he's done a phenomenal job as a coach at Greenwood High School. He's been the head coach, and he is right now. His name, Clinton Gatewood.
I will be obedient. First of all, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank God for giving this opportunity, to the committee for selecting me, to my family who have always been there with me, for my wife, we've been together for 34 years, who have always supported me, to my former teammates, coaches, my mentor, Mr. Bill Lewis, who's in the back. I just want to let you know I appreciate all of you all. Thank you.
Mr. Clinton Gatewood. Football in 1993, Commonwealth Player of the Year, All-Star Team. Make sure this is right. Senior year, 1,585 yards, 14 touchdowns, 2 rushing TDs. His junior year, 1,644 yards, also 16 touchdowns. It ain't enough can be said about Stuart Patrick.
Thank the committee and all the good work y'all are doing. Keep up the good work. Family and friends, and I've got some teammates out here as well. Congratulations to the rest of the inductees and their families. Thank you.
This young man is a graduate of Amanda Elsie, of course, in 1970. One out of 8 siblings. No stranger towards the sports world. He began a track and field career in the 5th grade at Amanda Elsie. He did not grasp the full, hold it, I need you some reading this. Bowling family. I can tell the same story, not gonna be long, same story as I told when Tommy came up here. A full court in the front yard, back road to side Mississippi from Rising Sun, wooden backboard, telegram pole, bicycle rim, cut up a towel for nets. And if you went out there to play them, they could come over to Rising Sun, play on the park, and they'd be average ball players. But they get you on that dirt wooden court and kill you. These guys were the family. Oh God, I wish I could. I mean, I really can't go no further than that, because if you get to talking about, then you're gonna have to talk about Paul. Then my classmate passed away before we were out of junior high school. You would have to talk about, hey man, our next inductee, Mr. Percy Bolton.
Miss Lewis, when you raise your hand back there, I want you to see how good your dad, your husband was to you. Then the first I want to thank my family, my wife, my family, sticking together with me. They all backed me up all the way. And I can't thank y'all enough for coming. And some of my classmates too. Thank y'all again for coming.
Mr. Percy Bolden. Now, this next young man is a true descendant of pure thoroughbred basketball between the cities of Greenwood and Greenville. If I started, I got to go ahead and talk about him a little bit, because if I start talking about his daddy, that'll be a whole new conversation. If you could ever describe a kid in your own words, Coach Bradbury, Coach Gatewood, and all your coaches, as a coach, if you had to describe players in your own words, this is a kid that I would describe to be an antler, because that's how he ran, that's how he jumped, that's how he played with the passion. He played with the kind of passion that you could not find ways to make defenses for him. The only thing you would say, let Dunlap score his, because he gonna score. Because he was just that smooth. This kid, oh man, this kid and Tracy Campbell would be my athletes of the decade, because they had the same style. This boy was a beast, Darrell Dunlap.
First of all, I want to give praise to the man above. Second of all, my kids, my dad, my mom, family, friends. In 2018, I got a chance to see my daddy get inducted into Mississippi Valley State Hall of Fame. So, in 2023, my kids got a chance to see me getting inducted into the Greenwood Hall of Fame. And that's a big honor, and I give shouts out to everybody that paid the way for me. And it's gonna be a brighter future. And Miss Marshita Smith back there, the debate is over. You never got a chance to see me play. But this is gonna show everything now. I got inducted to the Hall of Fame. And one more shout out. Messi Marvin back there. He built my first basketball goal. He invited a guy named Bucky Buchanan over there. He dunked and dunked and dunked on me, and I cried and I cried and I cried. But when I first got that first dunk, I ain't stopped since. So plenty of these light bulbs in here, I changed them all. And to you, Corey, I never lost the hills.
Y'all better stop that ticket on the other stuff. Troy said, go Bulls down. I knew you won't say Tiger Jerry. Go on. You got a microphone. All right, now, let's move on over to Mandela's right quick. I'm going to be honest with you. Somebody that came from a family like the Bolden, huge family. Huge family. Everybody was a decent athlete, but what make this one deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, she had a uniqueness about herself. Also, a fantastic point guard. And when I say fantastic, she had steal qualities. She had assist qualities. Now, numbers we don't have up here with us, but I know that they're there because I saw her throughout her career. That entire family of a bunch of brilliant athletes. I'm not going to say that she's better than them or they're better than her, but she had the opportunity to stand out. And her name is Linda Somerville.
Good evening. First, I'd like to give thanks to God, who's the center of my life. I'd like to give thanks to the late Conway Stewart, who taught me the skills that I have and still have. I still play basketball as of today. And also, I'd like to thank my family in the absence of my mother, who is ill, who taught me about morals and values, and I still carry that on today. Again, thanks.
Thank you to Somerville. You and Edna Powell back there, and Darlene also, and Lucy too. That was Conway Stewart in a nutshell. One of the great coaches of this different time. Now, one gentleman that, to me, can compare to Darrell Dunlap. This gentleman had it all. Only thing Robert Coleman couldn't do with him on the teams that he played on, they had some fantastic teams over there. He couldn't get him, he was aggressive. He couldn't get him to slow his fouling down. Played Ilse up in here one night. They had a superior team. Al Ford was on that team. They were sophomores at the time, I think. And this boy had 4 fouls at halftime. Soon as he hit the floor, Al was having a night. He jumped out there on Al, didn't touch Al nowhere, and the official just went on ahead and stopped the bleed. Hit him with a foul in the hand and get him out. Son, that man wearing you out. But that was one game. I've seen him demolish and destroy opponents. He actually even destroyed Ilse several times. This young man had leaping ability that was unreal. He had the kind of leaping ability, and he had the kind of shooting ability. He had everything he needed to go to another level. Coach Robert Coleman was really proud of this kid. Through all of his mistakes, I forgot his name. Y'all saying y'all glad. Just mentioned it in the beginning. But this gentleman, let's give a round of applause for Clinton Young.
First, I would like to say, first give it out to God, to the future champions of Greenwood. I think this is a very, very phenomenal event that we do, not just only for us, but also for our kids that are coming after us. To my family that's always supportive to me, and to my teammates that were primarily responsible for me being here. I'm so glad that that happened. But also, I would like to say congratulations to all of the formal inductees and to all of the present inductees of the class of 2023. Great job. Thank you.
Mr. Clinton Young. All right. Right now, at this time, our last award is to a bunch of gentlemen and their coach. These guys had what you call the excellent football program, I know, for at least 3 years. And they proved it and should have won that thing. They should have won both years. Playing Pascagoula one year and Warren Central the next. Now Pascagoula might have had things that you could say that they had maybe a slight advantage on Greenwood, but I'll forever, and I don't care if anybody in here is an official, say that Greenwood was ripped off against Warren Central that next year. Because they just did not compare at all. Greenwood could do whatever they wanted to do that second year. Even though they would be down, they would, hey, we need to block this punt right here. They would block that punt. We need to, whenever they got ready to score, but for some odd reason, the officials, when they would threat, found ways to keep them out in the end zone. I watched that immensely. And I can't think of his name that was over the Mississippi High School Activity Association, Woodrow Marsh. I told Dr. Marsh, Doc, you have a piss poor organization to do children that way. There's no way in this world. What are they going to gain? What are those officials going to gain by cheating children? Making themselves a vital part of something that should have been glorified by children. But then you ask a question later on, what's wrong with those children? Stuff like that, it's things like that. When they're doing good, they had the best team that year. It was the bottom line. So right now, we want to give honor to those teams in the 70s, 87, and 88, under the direction of Coach David Bradbury, the 1987 and 88 Greenwood High School football team. We have that last award. Gentlemen, would you come forward?
All right, what a night, what a night. What a great night. This seems like our biggest crowd so far. It seems like it gets better and better each year. Like I said, we're looking forward to it each year, and I didn't know that the Bowden had that many athletes in the family. I didn't know that. They would be picking Bowden all the way to 2045. So, once again, I want to thank everybody and the inductees that ordered the shirts. Make sure you come see me before you leave. Once again, you can see the event on G Wood Live. You can go back and watch it online, streaming whenever you get a chance. Because I'm sure you want to take a look at this event. It's a great event. We want to thank everybody for coming out. And anytime you hear about our organization, Future Champions, chip in and help us out. It ain't got to be financial, moral, or anything, advice or whatever. Because we're doing whatever we can for the community and the kids, and we're going to continue to do that. But thank you all for coming out, and God bless. That be it.